So we are back on this live stream. Not really sure why we got disconnected there, because we actually have a wireless router inside of our greenhouse, and just so we could do this live stream. But apparently it didn't work out too well the first attempt. Sorry if you're back with us again. So anyway, we're in the greenhouse. We got a few things to get done today. I have some radishes right down here. Henry, can you show us where the radishes are? Where's the radishes? Right there?
There's a lettuce, and there's some lettuce, and those are not ready yet.
Those not ready yet, okay. And we planted these radishes right here probably 2+ weeks ago. And they're doing really well, but they're actually they're an heirloom from Baker Creek. And they said they only take 3 weeks. Well, the problem is we don't have any. Hi, Cindy. We don't have any artificial or supplemental lighting on those radishes and this bed right here, like we do all of the other plant buckets here behind me. And so today we're going to be moving some lights around. We also have some. Well, let me switch the camera around here. Alright, so down here we had to thin them out. They were real close together, and you know, if you've never done radishes before, if you've got them too close together,
don't sit on the spinach
they
or
will,
the lettuce. Get off of it. Get off the bucket.
They won't really grow
You're not digging in it.
too well. Okay, we'll try it one more time. Anyway, over here you can see that this is what I recently tried to transplant the radishes that were too many that we had to thin out. Not yet, buddy. And so once you uproot a root style vegetable like that, it kind of shocks it sometimes, and so you kind of see them all laying out here. But this one right here did kind of sprout back up, so I'm really hopeful for those. So we are going to try that here in a little bit. Try to replant a bunch of these transplants. What are you doing up there? Are you planting?
He's got a Kool-Aid mustache.
He does. Are you going to help today?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to be eating any of the lettuce?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go pick some lettuce and show us?
I'll try to eat some of this pokey stuff.
Pokey stuff? What are these plants right here?
They have these pokey stuff on them, so we eat them.
What are these though?
Some we don't eat them. We like with some spikes on them, and we like them some with not spikes on them.
Spikes on them. Can you tell me that these are radishes?
These are radishes.
Yeah. Okay.
What's that?
We've also got a really awesome video coming out Friday. We're doing a YouTube collaboration with, at this point, we got 8 other channels that said yes to do the collaboration. So we're really excited. I'd like to tell you what it's going to be about, but
It's a surprise.
it's a surprise. It's going to be really awesome.
Can you do that one here?
Get you down.
I'll get you down. Okay, you ready to put some lights up?
You gonna help Daddy?
Yeah.
Let me tell.
Thank you.
Oh, not me. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. So let's start doing it.
Okay, here you go. So right now we have some grow lights in the greenhouse, but they're just over our lettuce buckets, and they're doing excellent. But over here, this is kind of a north side, and so it's not really getting a tremendous amount of sunlight. So we want to go ahead and move these lights over there today.
You one piece?
Thank you.
We've got these on timers, just some cheap Walmart timers.
No more.
And they come on. Actually, we keep them on most of the night.
You gonna go help Daddy? Go help Daddy bring that light.
You want to carry it?
I got it.
You got it? Okay, let's go.
I know I got it.
You got it? You want me to carry it?
Yeah, because it's really heavy for me. I'm going to hold it.
Okay.
And I can help Dad.
Okay. Okay.
Water springs aren't in there.
Don't get in the plants.
We use a fluorescent grow light.
I'm putting my foot right here.
I'd like to get some LED grow lights, but that sounds expensive. Hold that.
Ready? Okay. I sure will. What did it do?
It's a timer.
What did it do?
It turns on and off by itself.
Let's see how it was on here. Can you hold it, please?
No.
Here, I need it, buddy. We've got these lights a lot closer to the plants, and that way it's going to utilize more of the plant will utilize more of the lighting. Instead of before, when we had it above all the plants over here, we actually had them right up at the ceiling. So yeah, the lighting is spreading out more, but it's not, I don't think it's being as effective on the to the plants itself.
What are you doing over there?
Potato turn on and a wheel hot coals.
Hot coals.
So, Mommy, you send there
So
first.
today it says it is 23 degrees outside, 61 degrees in here, but it actually got down to 20. Well,
We got
maybe,
lots of comments coming in.
the minimum it got to last night inside was 41 degrees, so that's pretty cool. And it was really cold last night. It was down in the teens.
We've got a couple people asking what kind of buckets we're using.
Okay, let's see. The buckets that all these red buckets that you see are called molasses tubs, and we just get them from farmers from the local co-op. They originally came with like a cattle supplement in them, just a molasses lick,
So gone.
and I don't know how many gallons they are. They look to be about 15 to 20 gallons. There are a few different sizes. Most of them in this row right here are a little taller than what you see over here. And we do have them full up with dirt with a pretty good soil mix that we make, but which is kind of overkill for just lettuce. So if you see the ones up here, they're real shallow, and you really don't need a whole lot of root structure in a lettuce bed. But down here, what we really usually grow in these are going to be like tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that. But for right now, we're just utilizing them as the lettuce beds.
It all smashed it.
What else you got?
Well, everybody, just a lot of people saying hello. Somebody left a live stream to come see what we were doing. That was Freaky Geek.
Ah.
What seedlings you have? Freaky Geek wants to know what seedlings are in the bottoms of a tub. I don't quite understand the question. So what you have, seedlings are in the bottom of a tub.
Okay, well, I'll show you everything that we're growing in here. We've got some red romaine lettuce right here. This down here is more of a, I think this is a blue kale. Arugula, I believe. Got some cilantro. This has been really hard to grow. I have not been able to get it to even sprout. And so we replanted some more, but it actually looks like everything finally took.
I don't think you want to.
Got a lot of spinach right here. And this is dinosaur kale. I've got some more dino kale here and some red Russian kale. I'm not really a huge fan of red Russian kale, but the whenever you eat it really young like that, it works out pretty good. And this is a called lemon balm. It's just an herb. It smells really good. And we've got a lot of that red romaine lettuce growing. And down here, I just noticed that we have this is kind of some cover crop. It's a type of red lettuce, but that right there is a squash plant. So we're gonna let that grow up this trellis. Yeah, and as far as this, if you're new to our channel and you see this dryer here, you're probably wondering why in the world do you have a dryer inside of a greenhouse? Well, I took this dryer all apart. On top, you can see that it's just kind of bare bones. I took all of the electronics off of it and figured out which wires could be hooked up directly just to spin the motor inside of it. We mix compost in it. We take all of our different dirts, our soils, and we turn it on, and it mixes up really nice bedding that we put inside of all our planters.
Cilantro, they're saying cilantro. Uncle Mikey's Crazy Artistic Homestead Madness says, I barely got cilantro to grow myself. And Freaky Geek says cilantro is not easy to germinate.
Yeah, it must not be easy to germinate because it took quite a long time for it to even pop up. But now that it's up, it looks like it's going to do pretty well. And I did say, you know, I tried it 2 different times to do the germination, and it looks like both times are finally up. Because the first time I kind of just spread it real erratic throughout there, and then the next time I placed it in spots in kind of rows, but it looks like it's more than just rows now. It's snowing here. Is it snowing where you're at? Actually, it wasn't even hardly ground cover whenever we came in here about 20 minutes ago or so.
We're supposed to get like 1 to 3 inches. We'll see what happens.
We had to lock our cat, one of our farm cats, inside the chicken coop because she is really bad about, she wants to be in here with us in the greenhouse, and I don't want her in here because she's just walking all over the lettuce beds. But so she will actually climb up this plastic, and that doesn't sit well with me because her claws are just ripping right into that plastic. So for today, we locked her inside the chicken coop. So let's, you know, like I said, we had dug up some of these, we thinned out these radishes, and I have them sitting over here in water. I would like to do some transplanting of those and to see if we can actually get those to stay alive.
Do we have a hook down somewhere? Do we have a hook?
I don't know, buddy. I'm trying to help Daddy right now. Okay, come over here.
Where's my bucket, shovel, and my other stuff?
Okay, bring it over.
What?
So we had a bunch of kale that was in this, and it bolted on us, and I just keep letting it grow, and then we eventually gave it to the chickens. So we haven't done nothing with this bedding yet. But I've got a lot of this, like I said, this thinned out
I got it.
radishes here. And I think that we can really try to get these to keep growing. We'll see. I did put them in water.
Henry, be careful over there, buddy. I don't know what you're getting into.
I'll put that there.
I don't know. I've got it right on the bucket.
That's fine.
Okay, I just didn't know where you wanted me to have it.
Things like this look a little iffy just because some of that root has been torn off of it. But this one here has a lot more root on it. I think that it's going to have a better chance of growing. What else do we have coming out this week?
Video-wise?
Yeah.
Let's see. We've been working on some stuff, but we don't have anything set in stone, I don't think.
We've been working on our school bus. You know, if you
Henry, no.
are interested in seeing more of the school bus, we can make some videos on that. We had some leaky windows in the thing when we first got it, and I fixed them. I fixed the leaky windows, so we'll probably be putting out a video on that.
We might try the farm book for kids series. We might try another book this week and see how that goes over. Yeah, we always have little bits and pieces of different clips for different things, but we just have to figure out when to use them for what video. Henry, that dirt stays in there, buddy. You're digging all the good dirt out of there. That has to stay in there.
You can't do that, buddy.
No, I can't.
Henry, nobody.
Stop it. Look like.
Help
I
me.
know you're helping. You want to help? Come here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't want my shovel there.
No, you don't need a shovel in the tractor.
We don't need it.
No, you want to help plant?
Yeah, I do want to.
Okay, well, stop digging a little hole. Here, I'll dig a hole and you can put that in there.
Dig a hole for me.
Okay, I sure will. Right there. Put it in that hole. Oh, good job. Any questions?
I'm gonna pull up my here. Freaky Geek says, "Will you plant the boy? See if he divides into more boys." Uncle Mikey says, "I'm finding it can be an overload to put these videos together. Tough to keep up with it for sure." Yeah, making videos and editing them and just the whole process is so time consuming. There's some days you just want to be like, is it really worth it? I don't do the editing. That's his job. I just help make the videos.
We went and interviewed some people today for this
Upcoming video on Friday.
What's coming out Friday? It's gonna kind of be a short documentary. That's how we're recording it, as a short documentary anyway. But it has something to do with kids and farming and you know what they, how you're raising them and.
The bucket system. Another rock?
Yeah, for these two.
Oh, you found some rocks in there?
Yeah, I found them in here.
Oh, well, okay, don't dig in that one anymore, though, because we need to keep that like that so the plants can grow.
How many people watching this too?
3 and a thumbs up.
All right, so we'll see if that if those transplants will stay. Wanted to show you a little bit about some wood that we got. We got some free wood from the highway department. They had actually I stopped them on, or well, I stopped in a work zone, and they were cutting up some trees, and I really asked them if I could have some mulch, because they had like a dump truck full of mulch. If you could see out there, yeah, mulch pile. And I said, hey, I'd like to have that mulch, and they said, well, where do you live? I said, just a few miles down the road. They said, well, we usually don't do that for people, because if we do it for you, everybody's going to want it. But anyway, they ended up dropping it off, and they had all this wood that was bucked up too, and I said, what are you gonna do with that? They said, we just take that to our place and burn it. I thought, well, that is crazy, man. Just drop that off too. And most of it's walnut, but there's actually some cherry right there, and quite a few big chunks of cherry. That would have been really nice to get in log form, because they said that it just sat on the side of the road for a week or 2 weeks, and in 8-foot logs. It must have been a huge cherry tree, but man, that really stinks that they had a cherry tree that, you know, that they had to cut down, and 2 that couldn't have been used as real nice lumber. That's really pretty stuff. But we are actually going to cut that up, and not the pallets, but the cherry wood, and we'll use that for a smokehouse that we're going to build. This is mainly what we heat our wood stove with. This is, I don't know if you can see it very well, but this is leftover wood from an Amish sawmill. Man, it's cold out here. But we usually get that wood from the Amish sawmill, and it's, well, that whole pallet, which is, if you want to call it a half cord of wood, is $5 or
$6, something like that. $8
yeah,
maybe?
$5 to $8, something like that. But
Which
of course,
we have a video.
You've got to go get that. Yeah, we've got a video we
that.
have recorded on that pallet wood, and we will be putting that out pretty soon.
Henry,
but
stop.
Anyway,
Don't dig in
you
there.
guys got any questions for us?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think we've caught up.
Okay.
That's a pot.
I see, buddy. Good job.
Don't put them in there.
Well,
Put out the
we really don't have a whole lot more to say on this video. It's getting cold out. We need to get some more wood in. I appreciate you guys kind of checking us out. Oh, down here, let me show you. Down here at this door, if you kind of notice that the door isn't all the way shut against the building, it's spaced out just that little amount right there. That's where we have an intake. Usually we would, hey, you too, Freaky Geek, we'll see you later. But usually what we do is we would come in here and we'd open this door, and we have a fan, exhaust fan right now, or right behind this insulation right there. And so we would have to open the door every day, and just so the exhaust fan would be able to regulate the temperature in here. And so I thought, man, that's kind of getting old, having to come and open and close the door, plus the cats were getting in here, the farm cats were getting inside, and I didn't really want to do that anymore. So I had made this spacer, and it has some fencing. It has some fencing, some welded wire, 1x2 welded wire, or 2x3 welded wire, and that's kind of the air intake. Well, whenever we insulated the building, we just put some insulation up there, and it's worked out pretty good, but we were still getting quite a bit of cold air coming through. And so I had, yesterday I packed a lot of dirt right there, kind of so it would be like a threshold at the bottom of the door, and once it's latched, it really doesn't let any cold air in. I mean, if you haven't seen how we heat the greenhouse, we have a wood furnace inside of our shed area connected to our living quarters, and it also is plumbed out here, and it keeps it pretty warm in here. And you know, let's see, the temperature 22 outside, 58 inside, not too bad, and the sun's not out. But if the sun was out, it would be yeah, I mean, it'd be real warm. Sun was out yesterday. If I haven't let's see here, if I haven't reset this yet, it'll tell us the highs and lows. So it actually got up to 97. I don't know if you can see that, but it got up to 97 outside, and last night it only got to 41 in here. So, you know, we got to stay on top of that wood stove to keep the keep that heat up. But man, we were having some really hard trouble a while ago with the internet. We just got some internet out here in the greenhouse. We have a little Wi-Fi router right there, and it's working pretty good. Let me see here some comments. Hey, thanks a lot for the Uncle Mike about the comment about the greenhouse. We actually made this out of a tri-state carport, so it's just a 20x20 carport frame, and I only put the plastic, you know, down on the sides to about, well, there's about 3 foot right here. There's a sheet of metal all the way around the outside. And this is 2 layers of plastic that's on it with a blower motor that is blowing air constantly in between the plastic, and so that way it's it's insulated. So on the sides there's probably, from this layer of plastic to the outside, maybe it's about 3 inches, but on top there's at least 12 inches. If you go outside, you don't see any of the ribs of the greenhouse, and you can kind of see that where the ribs are now, it kind of dips in. It's pretty bulged. But once we put this,
don't waste the dirt up there, buddy. Leave it in the
once we
buckets.
put that pink foam around there, man, it made a huge difference.
Did you talk about this?
Yeah, so if you see this trellis system going all the way from here all the way across the greenhouse, we had some Achicha cucumbers that we had originally gotten from an American homestead, and we were growing them, and they did really well, and they went to probably about right in there. Yeah, you could still kind of see some of the old vines. But we had this whole exterior wall was lined with tomatoes, and they were actually so tall. Those tomato plants were so tall, they were growing up this trellis. We had strings. We don't cage our tomatoes. We take strings. If you can see a little remnant of string everywhere, we would take those strings and wrap them around the plant, and just keep wrapping them around the plant as the plant would grow. And they would just be stabilized by that rope or by that string instead of a cage. And that way you could keep the plant more open versus like a tight woven bush. And then that way your sun and your light could penetrate more to that plant.
There's more, buddy. Leave the dirt in the bucket.
Okay, well, cool, everybody. I appreciate you guys checking us out today. So you've been growing grapevines, Mike, you said, in your greenhouse? How big's your greenhouse?
Three.
20 by 40. Wow, that's a pretty good sized greenhouse, man.
Daddy, I'm putting some water to put in my bucket.
You are? Okay, well, good job.
I'm doing
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, hoop house. Well, we have a couple more of these carport frames, and we have 2 18 by 20s. And there, see, if you look at this, how a carport's made, it's on 5-foot spacing, so every leg or hoop or whatever you want to call it is on 5-foot spacing. So we have, like I said, 2 more 18 by 20s, and we're going to space those 2 out 5 foot apart, so that'll give us a total of 18 by 45. And we picked those up for probably $240 each, and that'll make a pretty good sized greenhouse. And then actually what we want to do with this greenhouse is we will take this and move out where the chickens are, and this will actually be our new chicken coop. Because one struggle that we have right now is a lot of people will just tell you in the wintertime that your chickens need supplemental light. We do give them a lot of light in the wintertime, but I can't deny, being someone who raises chickens, that it actually heat. I believe that the heat and the cold weather will affect their egg production. So I think if we have them inside this 20 by 20 enclosure, they're still cool to go outside and everything, but but there are days that they don't want to go outside.
Because of the snow.
Yeah, because of the snow, or because of the rain, or just because it's so cold. And so at that point,
it started snowing. They all started going in.
And so at that point, it would be nice for them to have a huge space for them to be inside, and it would almost be like they were outside. So that's why I think greenhouse would be an excellent idea for a chicken coop. Okay, guys, well, thanks again. I appreciate you watching on this Sunday afternoon. I know it wasn't very interesting. You know, didn't really plan on talking about much other than everything we showed you. The live streams really isn't much other than just being able to connect with you guys. And so we do appreciate you watching and subscribing to our channel. We really like the comments and interacting with everybody. So until next time, we'll see you on the next video.